I'm in Oregon near a town called Juntara, and I'm here for their hot springs. Thinking about doing a multi-day kind of video where I'm kind of traveling through Oregon, making my way towards Portland, but there's a few things on the way there that I want to check out, and I can't do it all in one day, so I'm going to try and fit multiple events into this video and see how that goes. Usually I just been doing them day of, like a one-day kind of recording thing. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Juntara Hot Springs. I just came from Boise, Idaho yesterday. Stayed overnight in this campsite very close to the hot springs. Some people were nice enough last night to take me out in their side-by-side and go out into the hot springs. Hung out with them for a little bit. It was fun. Nice people. Wanted to do it during the daytime so I could actually see. It was probably like 30 degrees when I was in the hot spring, and I mean, I didn't even feel like it was that cold out even after I got out, which was really surprising. Check out these mountains, man. Or these hills. I don't know what you want to call these. Hills, mountains. I don't know, man. Really beautiful spot that I've kind of stumbled upon here. And so yeah, after this, there's another hot springs that I'd like to check out. I think it's called Pamelia Hot Springs. There's also a mountain peak over there I was hoping to find the top of, and then make my way into Bend, Oregon, where they have the last Blockbuster ever to exist, because I think that'd be kind of nostalgic to walk into one of those places again. I unfortunately can't rent a DVD because I don't have a DVD player, but I think it'd be cool just to see, because I don't know how long it's been since I walked into one of those. Had to have been maybe like 12 years old or something. But yeah, excited to check out that town, check out the mountain, check out another hot spring, see what's up with Oregon. I just got here, so far everything has been really pretty. Did kind of go through some parts where it was a little bit barren, but here it's a lot different. Even just on the way in, it kind of felt like a scenic byway, even though it wasn't labeled as one. This is the road in front of me. Not very paved. Am I right? Yeah, it was first time riding in a side-by-side yesterday with the people that took me out to the hot springs. Those things, I mean, this road is super bumpy, as you just saw. Those things eat bumps like no other. Ended up being a nice day today. Today's still around like 32 degrees out. Doesn't even feel that cold out. The hot spring, I'm sure, will make it feel a lot nicer out here. The walk to the actual hot spring is maybe like 10-20 minutes, and I think I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, I mean, check out these views. I mean, it's just crazy. I'm sure the video doesn't do it justice to show like the depth of these hills over here. We've got a little bit of a water patch that I gotta cross here. See if it's easy or not. Side by side made light work of it. That shouldn't be too bad. So here it is. Looks like I got it all to myself, thank God. Last night, had some drunk people out here. They were alright. They weren't too rowdy or anything, but they actually have a fire pit over here too. Like last night we were doing a fire, and it looked super cool. I wish I kind of gotten some video of it. It was probably too dark anyway to even see anything. Fire pit, classic, beer cans in the fire pit. So I'm gonna kind of get out of these clothes and hop in and see what that's all about again. Super pretty surrounding area. I'm surprised. I showed a little bit in the beginning of the video, like my surroundings by camp, and there was some other campers there as well, so I'm surprised that nobody's actually here. So yeah, I'm gonna get ready for this and see if I actually take the camera in, because it's electronics and water don't really mix, but we'll see how it goes. Chanclas. All right, so now I'm naked and can step into that. They got like this little landing pad over here. Take off my chanclas. See if the water is really clear. The other hot spring that I went to smelled like sulfur quite a bit. You could actually see like bubbles coming out of the bottom. Yeah, in Thermopolis, their hot springs smelled like garbage. This one does not, which I'm grateful for. All right, let's step in. Initially it's hot, but then you get used to it. If I can get down a little bit further here. Oh. There it is. Ooh. That feels amazing. I was definitely expecting people out here, but I guess not. It's kind of amazing how this stuff just like naturally exists and people kind of just stumble upon it, and now it's like a whole hotspot on your way to wherever you're going in Oregon. This one was really discreet though. Like Thermopolis, that one, they had like the hot springs, but the actual hot springs, they were too dangerous to get in. Maybe it was like too hot or something like that, so they had to like filter it out into like a man-made built pool. But this one being all natural, it's just definitely something different. And with like all these hills and everything, it feels like you're in a super remote area, but you're really not. Like, yeah, there's no service around here, and the next like larger town is quite a bit of ways away. You're really not that far from like the main road. Like from my campsite, I think it was maybe like a 3-minute drive to the actual highway. And look at this rock. Looks like Swiss cheese, this rock. I wonder if that's because of this hot spring. Some areas are warmer than others, so I'm gonna kind of see what that's like. I'm gonna hang out in here for a bit, and then the next location is maybe like 3 hours from here. So today, largely in part, is gonna be a driving day, and then trying to find like a campsite, hopefully somewhere with some nice views like this place here. I'll check in again once I'm done soaking in this hot springs here, and I leave. So yeah.
Look, for 9 years, I've been telling people I'll be able to travel any day now. For 9 years. It took me 10 years just to be able to not shit myself. Remember, humans who don't know how to think, which are pretty much all humans, they are using their imagination with everyone that they're not with. Now think about that. And if that is true, that means no one has any idea about anyone. Like, it's just nothing but senseless, vain judging. So to meet this woman, like, the main thing is I have to like confess, like, look, you're gonna look at me and how I communicate and how I do things and what I create and what I produce and what I can do. You're not gonna think I'm disabled, but I have to fight to move my fingers. I have to fight to chew. I have to fight to breathe. Because our brains aren't developed for the wet. We're developed for the how. And we're producing the wet. But without the how, I just don't see how a human can be happy.
Hot springs done. I just met a mountain man by the name GK Millenio. I feel like there was a lot of similarities between us, a lot of differences, that's for sure, but he had a lot of wisdom to share. Yeah, there was a point where I thought he might kill me. We talked about a lot. I think I was in there for maybe like an hour and a half just talking with him. Really interesting stuff that he had to say. Can't say that I understood everything that he was saying. Tried my best to comprehend. That's where the differences come in. But I guess he lives up in the mountains, and he said after the first snowfall in the mountains, that's when he comes down. Then I think he tried asking me to drive him and all his stuff to Nicaragua because that's where home is. I'm not sure if he was asking me or just saying that that's what he's trying to do. Speaking of mountain man, he said he owned a 1985 Bug, and I think this is it here. And the way I'll know is if he has a Mexico plate on here. Yep, Mexico. I don't want to get too close, but that's his Bug. So on my way back now, I'm gonna make the drive out more west, maybe around like 3 hours or so, I might stop in Bend, Oregon first before I go check out the other hot spring and like the mountain and everything like that. I don't know. I've got time to decide. It's still early in the day. Anyway, I'll check in later today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. See ya. So change of plan, decided to wait out going up to Paulina Peak. Started to snow a lot more in the elevation, the higher elevation up there. That caused them to shut down the road to be able to access the trail peak. So kind of unlucky on that part, but right now I'm hiking up Lava Butte, which is maybe 50 miles south of Bend, Oregon. And basically what it is just like a big cinder cone with like lava rocks surrounding it, like a vent system, a volcano vent system. And yeah, my breathing is already kind of tired because this is a 8% grade going up the entire way basically. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Mountain Man. So basically what happened was I was just hanging out there for maybe like 20 minutes or so. Mountain Man GK arrives and he goes fully nude. It's just fine, you know, just something to note. Tells me it's his first day down from the mountains. Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the things that he talked to me about because said some things that I, you know, found some wisdom in, I guess. Other things that kind of made me feel uncomfortable or what the hell are you talking about? I'll kind of start with like the good that I took from our like hour and a half long conversation in the hot springs. So one of the biggest things he was an advocate for was just not worrying about like what other people think, doing your own thing, making sure it satisfies you. That's how he's gotten as far as he has in life. He seemed very happy with himself, very happy with like progress that he's made, things for the future. And going along with that, he talked a lot about patience and being that that's what wisdom requires, which I thought was kind of neat, I guess you can say. And this entire time too, like I think he did like 95% of the talking. So just imagine being up in a mountain, not talking to anybody for months, and suddenly in the wild, there's me. I think he was just unloading, which was fine because I understand. You haven't talked to somebody in that long. I would assume you'd want to talk to somebody. He said, I don't normally talk to people. I don't really open up this much to people. You must be different. Kind of doubt that though, because this guy was just completely open to giving me information. Another thing he talked about was like your willingness to learn will put you so far ahead to those that are not. Little wisdom tips from a mountain man. Before we continue on that, check out this view. Today's the first day that the skies cleared up. The last 2 days was rainy, cloudy, wasn't able to do much. And supposedly GK, the mountain man, paid $50,000 to a welder in town for a business idea. He's only got $100 left in his name, I guess. I don't know, man. He could be lying to me. But his business idea was to buy a bunch of buggies very similar to his, make trailers out of them, trailers you can live in. Yeah, he seemed very confident with this idea and that it would really take off. He's like, I think this is like a $500 million idea. And I'm just sitting there enjoying the hot water. Like, I don't know, man. But to each their own. Good luck to him. He also said he had a bunch of people that had gone to school on how to make documentaries approach him and talk to him, and none of them have offered to make a documentary about him. At this point, it was like maybe a little bit full of yourself, because he's like wanting people to know and like wanting to make money off of it. But he's like, none of them have offered to take my teachings and my wisdom and spread it throughout the world. I don't know, man. He also said one of his goals this year is to reunite with a woman named Kyle. And he said he met her for only 30 seconds. In those 30 seconds, he felt like she understood him 100%. Like her eyes were saying, take me with you. And that could be the case. I don't really know. But he said he knows somebody that knows her. And his goal this year, he wants to reunite with her and kind of put an ultimatum on the floor and see where that goes. But anyway, yeah, so he's in Juntara Hot Springs for the winter until about April. GK Millennium mountain man. Looking at this landscape, you can see just how much of it is just like volcanic ash, volcanic rock. That's wild. And then it kind of picks up again. A bunch of trees, forest kind of gets thick again in the distance over there. Just looking at how the clouds make the forest look all spotted. But this hike here, I think, is only maybe like 2 hours. You can normally drive up here, but they close it off during the winter time. They are kind of icy right now, so it's understandable. But yeah, I'm kind of upset about Pamelia Peak. I was kind of excited to do that one. And then I also heard the hot springs over there aren't so hot. It is November. What can I expect? So yeah, that definitely changed my plans around a little bit. So Pamelia Peak and everything around there, like the lake, the hot springs, have to X that out. Decided to do Lava Butte, which is here now. Go into town, get a shower because I'm stanky right now. It's only been a few days since my last shower, but I can feel it. They do have a Planet Fitness in town over here. And then go visit the last Blockbuster to ever exist. And I guess it's like a legit movie rental store still. And people keep it alive just for a nostalgia sake. And I'll see if I can fit one more thing in there. There's a few things north of Bend I may or may not be able to check out because of the time period here. I also kind of forgot to talk about the weird stuff that GK Mountain Man said to me. And one thing he said, he's like, hey, if you were alone with a murderer, you'd probably want to get away right now, wouldn't you? He asked me that like 2 or 3 times, and I'm just like, all right, I think I might die here today. But he didn't, so thank you, GK, I guess. And like I said, he is kind of full of himself. Like I think he thinks his poop don't stink, but who am I to judge? He also said he can't drive more than like 40 miles a day because he's crippled. He didn't look crippled. He said he's been crippled for the last 10 years, but he said he's very close to being healed right now. And then later on down the line, he said he's been saying he's been very close to being healed for like the past 10 years. So again, I don't know. Yeah, those hot springs were great. There was a hot spot that I found where like the sand at the bottom was super hot, kept that area really warm. And when I was out there, I think it was maybe like 30 degrees out. It's like 32 degrees right now climbing up this thing. Doesn't really feel like it, but yeah. I'm going to take a break from recording because I'm winded. This 8% grade, not fun. So yeah, check in later. We made it. Oh my God, we made it. Made it to the top. And there's a fire lookout here. Closed right now, obviously. You can see some mountains over there. Snow peaks. But I think Pamelia Peak is somewhere embedded in those clouds over there because the highway goes like out this way, and then there's a street that goes into over there to leading to the lake, but it's closed off right now. Yeah, look at these views. Wasn't even a lot of walking to get up here, to be honest with you. It went by kind of quick. Just that short amount of time, and you're way above everything else. And just these trees go on for miles. Here's the crater down below. I think it's kind of wild that all of this is like volcanic ash and rock and leftover debris, yet trees are still growing here. Lava Butte, lava butt, and I touched it. I touched it good.
He touched the butt.
Lava Butte, elevation 5,020 feet. So I'm gonna be making my way downtown, because I really do want to get into town and take a shower. I feel absolutely disgusting right now. And tonight I want to explore like their downtown area a little bit. Maybe I'll do the Blockbuster today or tomorrow, and I'll see about doing something else on my way out of Bend, Oregon, while I make my way north towards Portland. There are a few points up there that I have marked of things that I want to do, but I gotta see if they're open, because that's been a problem I've been having because of the season, things not being open. But in December, I'll be heading down south, warmer climates, which honestly, I've been kind of okay with the cold climates. Like, it'll be 25 degrees outside, yet somehow I still have like warmth inside of my van. Like, without even the heater on, like I can sleep, or I can fall asleep without waking up super cold. It's been kind of nice. It's also easier on my battery bank. My air conditioning takes a lot of power to run. Being that it's colder now, the heater uses very little gas to keep the van warm. A little bit of power to keep the fan running. It's very manageable. Back when it was much warmer out, keeping the air conditioning on was, I mean, if you kept it on for a long time, then your batteries go quick. So I've been kind of enjoying the colder weather. Hasn't been too bad. I've always kind of liked it like that anyway. And here's a shot of what it looks like from afar. Picnic table here. They've got bathrooms over here as well, but I'm pretty sure they're closed. And they've got like this short trail kind of going around the rim of the crater basically. So that was Lava Butte. I'll check in again for the next event, whatever that is, whether it be Blockbuster. It's probably going to be Blockbuster. I'm actually kind of excited to go check that out, even though I can't rent a movie. So yeah, that might be a day or two. And then next week I'll be heading out of here and seeing if I can fit something else into this video. So I'll check in later. Peace. So, went to Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. I asked them if I could film. They said it was fine, but I'm not gonna talk in there and record at the same time because that would just be maniacal. The first nostalgic part was just obviously the entrance, right? Just looking at the Blockbuster sign. It's still like the old, like, yellow one, and it has like that movie ticket sign, I think is what it is. Well, I walked in, and the first thing that I noticed was the smell. It was like a whiff of nostalgia, basically, and it didn't last for long, right? It was kind of like smacked me in the face, and then after a minute or two, it was gone. But it was that really distinct Blockbuster smell, and I can't describe it. Like, if you know, you know. And if you don't, you don't. And I thought it would be pretty fitting to go here at night because that's how I would go pretty much like when I was little. Me and my older brother would go to Blockbuster pretty regularly on Friday nights, choose out a movie and go through like the motions of what do we want to watch, or what kind of snacks do we want, even though we usually didn't get any because we couldn't afford it. And yeah, so it was also impressive. They still like rented out VHS tapes there. There was a bunch of like VHS memorabilia there, which I thought was pretty cool. The one that I would always go to was back in Montgomery, Illinois. That one eventually got like a Papa John's attached to it, but before that, I mean, that was kind of like prime time for when I was young, going there, trying to pick out a movie with my older brother. And the thing that I kind of miss about it too is that there were less choice options, right? So like now we have all these streaming services, so anything that you want to watch, like you can scroll infinitely through a bunch of TV shows, movies that you wanted to watch, but when you went to the store, you were limited to what they had available for you. So you kind of had to, make a choice, and it was always mysterious, right? It's not like you could just look things up. You didn't have the internet readily available to you, so you'd have to make a decision based on like the cover of the movie, like read a little bit on the back of the actual case and everything like that. But yeah, it's just not the same anymore. Also across the street from that one in Montgomery was a Hollywood Video too, but there just was something a lot better about Blockbuster. It was like the big name in the rental space, right? Like the media rental space. So definitely holds a place in my heart and in my memories for sure. Also, just having physical media is a completely different feeling than everything, like I said, just being streaming now, right? You don't get to hold a DVD case. Like DVD cases would come with like some extra little surprises too. You don't really get that anymore. And watching a movie back in the day was kind of like an event, Like watching a movie now kind of doesn't feel the same way. It has a different feeling towards it. Like it's just like a whatever thing. But back in the day, it really felt like something special, right? Like I said, Friday nights, that was like our thing, right? We'd grab a movie from Blockbuster, take it home, and it was like a whole big thing. We'd make popcorn and everything like that. So just things have changed quite a lot. Also kind of reminded me, just like walking in there, made me feel like a kid again for some reason. I don't know. And then there was also that forbidden horror section that always kind of felt a little bit taboo walking into, like you're not supposed to be there. I don't think they had that here. It was kind of just like a mix of everything. But and obviously, it's the last Blockbuster to ever exist. So they've got a bunch of memorabilia there that you can purchase and also just on display as well. Like they had that couch, like that living room set up in the front of the store, which I thought was kind of cool, just to kind of make you remember, like, hey, this is what things used to be like, right? Their snack section too was different. Like it obviously had different types of snacks than was before. I remember for some reason I liked Whoppers a lot, and now I definitely don't. Whoppers are kind of gross to me now, but yeah, that was like my thing as a kid, right? Like I would always want them. I wouldn't always get them. Probably got them maybe a few times. There was just something about it. It felt like really like movie-esque type snack food for some reason. There were a lot of people in there too. Like they were browsing all the media and everything and just seeing what they wanted to watch, which I thought was really interesting, right? Because this whole world is all about streaming now, but there's still like a really big video rental space, which I thought was interesting. All right, so that's it for this Blockbuster trip. I'm actually going to be heading towards Salem, Oregon, and then up to Portland. There is like a lake and also a peak that I might want to check out over there. Conditions are getting kind of bad right now. Like, well, not bad, it's starting to snow. There's like a snow warning that's going to happen tomorrow and the next day. So we'll see if I can actually make that work. So if I can, I'll check in then. Peace. Feeling a little spicy right now. I was coming from Bend, Oregon. I was on my way to Salem. I saw this lake called Pamelia Lake. I'm not sure. I started going down the road for it, and it just piqued my curiosity. I don't know. I kind of wanted to check it out. And yeah, so I'm here right now. I actually brought stuff to swim. I don't know why. It's like 40 degrees out right now, but I was kind of interested in that. Check out this waterfall though. And it is raining right now too, so this is not ideal swimming lake weather, hiking lake weather, but I still kind of just felt up for it. So I'm on my way now. Maybe it'll just look nice too. Maybe it'll be worth it just for some views. I'm not too sure how long this trail actually is. I just started maybe 20 minutes ago, and it is muddy. It is a little bit rainy. Trees are keeping it from being super wet out here. So I'll check in probably when I get there and see what I can do from there, because like I said, the conditions are not great right now. Check in later. I'm here, and honestly, yeah, it's raining. It's kind of cold out, but it looks extremely nice out here. Really peaceful, like all the trees, the lake. There's some snow up over there. The fog just kind of makes it look ominous, I guess. I don't know. But I would say it took me maybe like an hour and a half to get here. I didn't keep track of that. So there was a bridge and I think I got a video of that. I think that's the halfway point, but me and keeping track of time do not mix well. And I've been staring at this lake for maybe 5 minutes now. I'm like, I kind of feel like jumping in. And I'm still debating that because I did feel the water and it is cold out and it's also raining too. I might do it. And if I do it, then it'll be here now, I guess. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Oh my God. So, as you may have seen, I tried. I got knee deep into the water. Then I was standing there and I was just like, man, this temperature of water right now is the kind of temperature that gets you sick or hypothermia. I only stood in it for like 30 seconds. That's all I needed to know. Well, I didn't get to swim out there. I at least got knee deep while it was raining and maybe like 40 degrees out, 30. I don't know because I don't have internet right now. Really nice views over there. Really secluded area, especially right now, obviously. Like there's nobody's gonna be here right now. I can only imagine what that lake is like during the summer. Sure, there's a bunch of people here that go swimming out there and probably have like a little beach day or something like high up in the mountains in the forest. That fog that kind of overlooked everything. Like I said, ominous but beautiful at the same time. You know, some people have asked me what I've learned doing this van life thing. You know, I wouldn't say a lot so far. If I were to choose two things that I've learned, you know, it's only been 3 months now. It's actually only been 2 months. So I really haven't been doing this for a long time, but I would say the biggest thing that I've learned has just been changing your environment when it's not an environment that you want to be in. The job that I was working was not a job that I wanted to be working. Lifestyle I was living, not one that I wanted to be living. I think people get really lost in, maybe not lost, but maybe they get complacent in what they're doing and they just end up doing that the rest of their life. And that always kind of bothered me. I felt like if I didn't do this van life thing now, I'd probably regret it for the rest of my life. Having the ability to be able to do that, like make those changes, make what needs to happen in order for me to be able to do this, I mean, it's really satisfying to say the least. It kind of just goes to show like you're always kind of in control of at least a little bit of what you got in front of you, or maybe a lot of it. Every situation is different. But just the fact that back in August and July, you know, and before that I was working a job, hated waking up every day, going to that job. Culture of that company wasn't the greatest, I would say. There are some cool people working there, but the overall trickling down of the culture, it's just not my cup of tea. And for some people it is, and it's just, everyone's different. And to think that just a few months ago I was doing that, and now I'm here enjoying my life the way that I want to for the time being. The biggest thing that I would say is that I'm proud of myself. There was a lot that needed to get done before I could actually start this venture. And that's the part that not a lot of people see. Kelsey, though, I know you were a big part of that. You sat next to me every day, watching me do everything, listening to my progress with that. Most people didn't see that, right? There's just like, oh, he bought a van and he left. No, it's not that simple. Like, I have a house back home that I didn't want to sell because I thought that'd be dumb. So I rented it out. The van had a bunch of troubleshooting issues and not fixing up, but personalizing that needed to be done before I could start the venture. I had to save up more money. I had to live way below my means, even though that's kind of like my personality anyway. But even even more so. I would say from about March up until August, I really didn't do anything other than what needed to be done to start this trip. Didn't go out, tried my best not to buy things unless it was necessary. I was just a hermit going from point A to point B, being work and home, so that way I could get that paycheck for whatever else the van needed or my adventure needed. So yeah, I mean, circling back, super proud of what I've been able to accomplish, just changing my environment, changing my path. I don't think a lot of people understand how much they are in control of that. And I hope that by, watching me or just hearing my story, people will maybe have a change of heart or just think a little bit differently, because sometimes that's all it takes. I know for me, I just watched people doing the van life and I'm just like, man, I would love to do that. Just go anywhere. And me being me, like I never really explored this country at all. I was always kind of just save my money kind of guy. And now I'm trying to just experience my life a little bit more before I settle down into something that won't allow me to do that. I've seen more of the country now than I ever had the past 30 years of my life. And yeah, I've gone to like Mexico and such, but I'm making up for it now. And that's the best that I can do. And I don't know how long I'll be doing this for. A year at least is what I keep telling myself, but I don't know where I'll be a year down the road. Also, I don't know if this camera is waterproof or water resistant, so oops. What kind of camera would it be if it wasn't at least a little bit? Another thing that I probably would say that I learned so far is that being alone isn't the worst thing in the world. And you read about it, they're like, oh, if you're alone for a long time, you either learn to like it or you remain to hate it. As I'm kind of doing this and spending a lot of time by myself, it's gotten a lot easier. I'm in control of what I'm doing and where I'm going. It makes things easier and it makes the relationship with myself that much better. There's long periods of times where I don't say a word, even when I'm by myself, like people talk to themselves, and there'll be like days where I don't say anything or even just talk to anybody, and that's all right. It's all right. So I would almost go as far to say that this trip was almost necessary to open my eyes, better the relationship with myself, understand that I'm in control at least a little bit, and just being proud of what I can do. I think in this day and age, people really compare themselves to everything they see online. Information is way too accessible, which makes comparison that much more common. And I hate to say it, but yeah, I am one of those people. I still am one of those people. And when I realize that I'm being like that, I have to snap myself out of it, because everyone's life is different, everyone's path is different. Not everyone has access to what other people have, so why complain over it? Yeah, anyway, that little monologue is over. I've also had like thousands, like at least 5,000 people ask me to do a tour of the van, because I have at least 5,000 people that watch me and follow me and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, next video, probably do a tour of the van. Have to make it all nice and shiny for people watching back home. So I'm going to be heading back, doing this hike back to my van. Probably be another hour and a half. And then I'm going to head into the town of Salem and hang out there for maybe a day or two, see what they've got to offer, and make my way up to Portland for Thanksgiving. And yeah, that's my plan for now. Afterwards, start going down south. Drier environments, warmer temperatures. Hopefully not too warm though. We'll see what the southern part of the United States has to offer at that point. So that's going to be it for now, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.